What advice and pointers do you give to entrepreneurs in MENA?
What advice? First, if you have an idea, just do it. Don't wait for investors. Don't wait for that. Just go build that first prototype. It'll help you learn if you actually have something that's worth pursuing, because it's just so cheap, so quick, especially if you're doing tech stuff. That's kind of, and don't try to think that you need investment too early. It's You need to build your product, build your team before you go out and trying to raise money, etc. Don't waste your time on a business plan. I hear this. I think a lot of people say, "Oh, you need to write a business plan." Don't waste your time, because 90% of the time is the business plan. The first business plan is not worth the paper it's written on, because it's so incorrect. It's more important to have a working prototype and some resemblance of where you want to head, because the reality is that once you actually validate it, it'll completely it'll it the product, the focus will ultimately change. The second thing is, this is kind of my role: do something that you'll actually use. That's kind of, most of the startups is basically solving my problem. I'm very sick. And as a result, you end up, because you're a user of your own creation, you end up you keep improving it, because you know what you are, a user. And you start enhancing it in ways, as opposed to going out and doing market research, etc. You need to be, there's a term you need to eat your own dog food. That's kind of an American term. Probably doesn't translate well in the Middle East, but
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that.
yeah. But you need to be you need to be your biggest user. That's kind of another one where the kind of big piece of advice. And find people that complement you. You can't do it alone. Don't be. Building a startup is a lot of hard work, and you need people that complement you to fill in the gaps. And kind of my general rule of thumb is, make sure you have the founding team's 3 people is usually a good starting point. Having too many is bad, but having just being one person is not good either. It just helps scale, it helps complement, and it also creates an environment where if you're able to sell to other people over your idea, you've probably got something. And they can sell it back to you. And and one thing that I notice a bunch of startups do, they start up and they get a little bit of money and they start hiring all these people. Stay lean for a little while until you have a formula. I mean, one of the things when we raised our money at Zinku, one of our goals was to stay as lean as possible until we had a formula that works. Then you scale. And then finally, just have fun doing it. I mean, a startup is fun. It's scary, but it's a lot of fun. And in closing, the numbers in the Middle East are staggering. So yes, there are global markets, but the Middle East, the internet numbers are just off the charts. 60 million internet users, 90%. I mean, I don't need to repeat the stats, but if you look online, they are staggering in terms of the potential There's a lot of white space. There's a lot of opportunity, and the next thing is to just do it.